Welcome to the April 7th, 2022 episode of BnB Happy Hour. I am returning after a 1 week hiatus from WrestleMania. Tonight we are with Draco, Christine, and Myron. I'll start with you, Draco. How is your week going? Anything on your mind?
Hey, the week is going great. There's a lot on my mind. Crypto's always on my mind, obviously. It's one of them things right now. The market's kind of, pulled back a little bit like we thought it could. And, keeping an eye on that kind of stuff. But I'm not really timid or anything like that. I'm not in any fear. I think this is just, a little bit of correction before we potentially start heading off into outer space.
Any? Are you sipping on any beverages tonight?
Yeah, actually, I'm still sipping on what I had, I think maybe two episodes again, because I really, really enjoy it. It's called Wilderness Trail. It's a Kentucky bourbon, and it's really, really good. You just have to watch out for it because it's 112 proof, so it packs a punch. So you got to be careful with how fast you're drinking it.
Oh man. How about you, Christine? Are you sipping on anything good tonight?
I am. I'm sipping on a red wine, and it's called Rondo Dongo.
Oh man. Where's that
Ooh.
from?
Um, it says, well, it's very foreign on the back. It says product of Spain, though.
Oh, nice. Very fancy. Very fancy.
Oh, so fancy. So fancy.
Myron, how about you? How's your week? And are you having anything good to drink tonight?
Week's been pretty good. The market's just been crazy. I mean, it's been crazy for a while. Even Bitcoin or even just the stock market. With I think there's a bunch of news that came out this week from the Fed about what they're gonna do with the rate raises and what they're gonna do about inflation. That caused a lot of volatility. But other than that, I'm not drinking anything fancy like you guys. I'm drinking a Pellegrino. Drink that. I'm about to go to sleep after this.
Yeah, I'm still recovering from WrestleMania weekend.
Oh yeah, who's the coolest guy that you met there? You would say.
Jake the Snake Roberts. I'll say that.
Oh, Jake the Snake.
Yeah, I met Bret Hart, but Jake the Snake was the coolest one. So, and yeah, not to get too off topic, but if anybody hasn't watched WrestleMania yet, it's on the NBC streaming service. And Stone Cold came back, so just fast forward to that. If you're not a huge fan, but just want some nostalgia, go watch Stone Cold wrestle. He had a great 20-minute match. But
Oh wow.
anyways, back to Bitcoin. Draco, what's your view of the market right now?
I think Myron touched on it real quick. There is some fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market. But I've kind of watched a couple other people that have way more technical knowledge than I do. I'm just a simple, smooth brain human, and pretty much what I'm hearing is that a lot of the retail investors, so people like you and me, are scared, right? They're hearing all this negativity and a lot of this change, and people don't like that type of stuff, so they're kind of moving their money around. But when you look at the retail investors and you look at long-term holders and people that have one whole Bitcoin or more, specifically 10 Bitcoin to 100 Bitcoin, they are not moving their money. They are accumulating and holding. So this is, I think, a reaction from retail markets kind of just being scared of what's going on right now, and not an overall reaction from the larger or institutional investment market.
All right, sounds good. With that, we'll
I'll always take the opposite side of the retails, right? I think
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way to go.
yeah,
Yeah, when people are scared and there's blood in the street, buy, buy, buy.
oh
Yep.
yeah, no doubt about it. Especially with Bitcoin, because I mean, I'm very bullish on that long term. So sell pressure isn't a bad thing with Bitcoin. Um, Going on to the articles. So Terra Luna, we talked about them a couple weeks ago. They bought 11 billion worth of Bitcoin. Now we're seeing them buy $200 million worth of AVAX. So you have two blockchain support groups. The Luna Foundation Guard and Terraforma Labs have bought 100 million of AVAX each for the Terra Luna Treasury. What do you guys think about this? It is kind of interesting that they went to AVAX instead of Ethereum, because a lot of people consider Bitcoin gold and Ethereum like the silver, but they just bypassed Ethereum and went straight to AVAX. We'll start with you, Draco. Is this a bigger story for Terra Luna or a bigger story for AVAX? And what do you think of this purchase?
Well, I don't know much about why they purchased that, and I think that information will come out in the future. So, I mean, we can speculate about it, and I think that that's fun and healthy. But what I think is more of the story here is I listened to an individual that had a really good idea, a macro perspective of what's going on with Luna. And what they said is that Luna is setting they're paving the way for DeFi 3.0. And what that means is we've had DeFi 1.0 and 2.0 that we're kind of coming out of now. 3.0 is where DeFi projects and assets back themselves by the best backing possible in crypto to stay true to the crypto name, and that would be Bitcoin. So they're the first people to truly back their project by Bitcoin, and I think that's going to pave the way for other crypto projects. So I think that we're going to see a lot other projects start investing into Bitcoin, but maybe they're trying to make this move. And the reason why I bring that up is because maybe they made this move also to say, if you're a project and you're on, for example, Phantom Network, that you invest a whole bunch of money into the network that you're on as well. So don't just focus on potentially Bitcoin, but maybe you could also focus on investing in the project or the blockchain that your token or your project survives on, which kind of makes you a little bit more diverse. So I think this is bullish for the overall crypto market because they're investing in the projects and in the chains and that are creating this and making this possible in DeFi.
Christine, what are your thoughts on this?
So I believe that from my understanding, Luna and AVAX were brought on to Binance at the same time earlier this year. I may have to look that up. But I thought they were brought on at the same time. So I think it's encouraging to see, even when you look at kind of some articles that are coming out recently that say that Luna, AVAX, Solana, they offer massive opportunities in 2022. And although, Ethereum and Bitcoin are base investments, they're the OGs of crypto. They are very robust. I think that the market definitely needs some alternatives to that. So the growth potential is huge with them making this move.
Yeah. Do you think this purchase big enough where it kind of puts Avalanche as the number 3 coin behind Ethereum and Bitcoin, or is that still Solana? Do you think, or what do you feel about that?
Well, I would have to look because I know they're all kind of vying for that top 7, top 5 spots. So there could be a little bit of a match going on that we don't know about, which I'm all for. I completely encourage.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a fight between Solana, Phantom, and Avalanche for that next spot after Ethereum. Well, what do you think, Myron?
Man, they don't want to pay that gas fee for buying ETH, man. No one wants to mess with that. But I actually like AVAX a lot. Of course, like for me, it's like I don't have a lot of stuff on Solana. I know it's really popular, backed by VCs and everything. But Phantom and AVAX, I think those are my top 2, man. Those are the top chains that I do a lot of the things on. And a lot of the coins that I track are also on those 2. So maybe they're making this is completely speculation. I don't know, but maybe they're making a move towards doing something, trying to build. Because I think I read the article. It's like now AVAX holds UST, and now they hold AVAX. So are they working together? Draco said something about Web3 that Luna is trying to build. So maybe they're working together, trying to be something that's better than ETH. That I'm not completely sure about, but just speculation. But out of them buying anything else, AVAX sounds a little weird, but it is like top 10 coin, and it's one of I think it's a chain that I do like a lot. So I think it's a good move for them. I wish I bought more AVAX, man. I always miss these news, man.
Yeah.
I know. I need more AVAX. I do kind of wonder though, because if you think about it kind of from a top-down view, what if Luna matched up with AVAX, Solana, and let's even say Polygon, Matic? What kind of gains do you think they would get if they came together? Like if they actually kind of worked together and helped each other?
Yeah, that'd be huge for the space. I don't know. What do you think about that, Draco?
Well, I think that, that might be something that happens if we get to one of those, like if times got rough, right? You could see, great kingdoms come together, to forge forward and survive. And I think right now there's so much money out there and so many people are pouring in that there's just great options on the table. I do think that there needs to be a runner up, or a couple more options that come up that hit the mark as high as Bitcoin or Ethereum, because you're right, they are like the safe plays. They're the blue chips. They're the ones that are the safest in the space, and we do need more options like that. But specifically with Solana, I've always been not such of a fan of Solana. It's gone down so many times. It has a lot of structural issues. The nodes have gone down multiple times, and a lot of it's been backed by celebrities and things like that. So it kind of has rubbed me the wrong way since the beginning. And it doesn't mean that I would not like it forever, but for right now, there's so many other good options that I'm not forced to enjoy Solana or not enjoy Solana. I just kind of ignore it.
Do you guys have anything on Solana?
I have nothing, not one thing.
Yeah, I have a few NFTs, but I mean, I haven't really checked on them at all. It's probably worth nothing now. All the ones I meant goes to zero. All trend to zero. That's how it works.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have any. I'm a big AVAX fan, and I actually hold Matic. So talk about underdog. So I'm kind of on the top and the bottom there.
All right, so it looks like I just got a message from Smokey. So it looks like his internet went out. So I'm going to go ahead and take over the screen. So we'll move on to the next option here, or the next. Hold on a second. Let me make sure that I can get this up. We're going to move on to the next. There we go. Article. So the next article that we're going to talk about is Robinhood rolls out wallets to 2 million waitlisted users, and they plan to integrate Lightning. So it won't support Ethereum-based services like NFTs. So we've heard a lot about Robinhood in the past, and if you're new to crypto, you might not have heard about Robinhood or what they're about, but they do offer some crypto services. I think they offer things like Doge and whatnot. So Myron, I'll start with you. What do you think about this this article talking about Robinhood rolling out, more options for crypto?
I'll have to admit, Robinhood is where I bought my first crypto, and that was Doge.
There it is.
But the thing is, I hate Robinhood, man, because the whole thing they pulled with it, when the AMC GMEL was a part of that, and it's just, it could be legitimate reasons why they had to do that, but it just wasn't good. And with their stocks, the stock tanked. It got really high, I think, to the 70s. Now it's down like 80% from the top. But I think one of the reasons, so I bought crypto on Robinhood, and I started learning more. And I was like, wait, you actually don't hold any of these coins. Like, there's no way for you to take these coins out. And that's when I signed up for Binance. Then ever since I signed up for Binance, I haven't done anything in terms of Robinhood for crypto. So maybe this is just a move for them to be relevant again. And other big stock exchanges like Webull and maybe other ones, I don't think they have wallets at all. So maybe they are going to be, I think, one of the earlier ones that had this. But I don't know. I just don't like the platform itself, and I think they're the first one to do the no fees for trading, but they also do payment for what was it called, for flow. Basically, they sell your information. So now there's so much competition, and a lot of brokers are not doing any fees. I think this is just a way for them to bring a little bit of hype, maybe bring a little bit more revenue in. I'm not gonna be using this, man. There's no I won't be using, like, why would I use Robinhood when we have all these different exchanges that we could be using? But I think it's good because most people in the mainstream do know Robinhood. Maybe they'll now bring more attention to crypto. That's the only positive I see from this.
Good point. Christine.
So Robinhood, yes, very easy and simple to use platform. However, the downsides they've kind of encountered have been, of course, taking it off the exchange. I have helped actually several guys try to take their money off the exchange, and it has been highly difficult. They also have limited research and educational resources available. So a lot of people that I've talked to that use Robinhood are not educated at all about security or what to even do with their Dogecoin. They have no idea. They don't even know what they got into. They just bought something. So there is a real bridge that I think Robinhood is trying to make happen here by offering wallets. However, I think that the crypto investors are becoming more educated, more savvy. They want more security. And I don't think this platform has quite the stage to gain that momentum. I am not a fan of Robinhood. I've seen way too many people just really, really, really struggle using it. It's got limited investment offerings, lack of transparency all around. So they can go for it, but I don't think they're in with the other players that we prefer to use.
No, that's a very unique point of view, and I agree with you on a lot of that. Smokey, what do you think about Robinhood rolling out wallets to? And to me, what it sounds like is they're trying to offer more Bitcoin, options for their customers, and it seems like they're also talking about Lightning Network. So I kind of get into that as well. But what do you think about this?
Yeah, so sorry I fell off, and this might have been touched upon, but when Robinhood was selling stock for AMC and GameStop about a year ago, there was activist investors on Reddit, who were buying up GameStop and AMC to squeeze short positions, and Robinhood put a stop to all the AMC buys and all the GameStop buys. And if they would have kept letting the investors buy the stock, they would have squeezed the short sellers out of their position, which would have made both AMC and GameStop go to the moon. But Robinhood put a stop to that, and I don't see how anybody can ever trust them again. I don't know why anybody would ever use Robinhood again. It's kind of like Robinhood rugged the stock buyers. It'd be like if you bought a project from a dev and they rugged you. Then they came out with a new project and said, oh, this time it's going to be better. Well, no, you're not going to buy from them again because they rugged you before. I feel like Robinhood rugged investors before. And my biggest fear is that people are going to get into Robinhood and buy crypto for the first time. And Robinhood's going to use them as exit liquidity, or the big players involved in Robinhood are going to see this as an opportunity to use new crypto investors as exit liquidity. So, if anybody's listening out there, do not use Robinhood. That would be my best advice.
Yeah, I'll expound on that a little bit. I think that this is great. I think it's wonderful because what this is going to do is bring people in that want to be like first-time users, or maybe somebody that's familiar with stocks and has never done any crypto. This will get them, more exposure to crypto. That is it. That's where it stops. The thing that once you hit that exposure point, hopefully those individuals continue to do research and want to learn more. And then they find a community where they can realize that there's a very common phrase in crypto. And if you're early to crypto or you don't know much, I can tell you that one of the phrases that you need to learn is not your keys, not your crypto, right? Not your coins. So if you let Robinhood hold on to your Bitcoin and your Ethereum, at the end of the day, the truthism is you don't own it. They do. They're holding on to it. It's just like a bank. And I don't think that any bank or any centralized exchange or any centralized anything should be holding on to your crypto. That's the whole point of crypto, is that you take control of your own finances. So I don't think this is a bad thing. I think this could bring a lot of attention into the system. I just think that people need to be smarter and not rely on somebody else to hold on to their Bitcoin. It's not that hard to buy a hard wallet and learn how to do those things yourself. And like I said, you don't have to go it alone. Find a good community that you can trust and learn how to do those things with other people. Learn how to do those things with friends, and you'll be much better for it because now you'll be in control of your own funds.
I was going to say, I have to agree. There are other platforms that do not have as much risk that are just as easy to onboard with. So definitely agree with you, Draco. Reach out to families, friends, communities, and find out a better platform that already has wallets established, that already have good reputations. And then you can work step by step from there. This would not be a platform I would recommend.
Yeah, and Coinbase and Binance US are just as easy to use as any of these mainstream stock
Absolutely.
exchanges. And we always trash these Coinbase and Binance, but I can tell you Robinhood is probably 10 times worse than Coinbase, because I doubt you'll be able to transfer any of your crypto from Robinhood to another wallet, where a normal central exchange like Coinbase or Binance, you absolutely can.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say about this before we move on is this last part right here, plans to integrate Lightning. I want everybody to pay attention to this. You're going to start to see this pop up a lot. What this means is the Lightning network is utilized to transfer Bitcoin and Satoshis, fractions of Bitcoin. What people are going to want to do, and this is coming, so pay attention, all of these tech giants, all of these technical companies are going to want to find ways to integrate the Lightning Network so that you can move Bitcoin and pay for things on the Lightning Network, because Bitcoin moves very slow. So they need a secondary layer to help them move those funds. Everybody's going to be saying this. You're going to hear every single company in the world start saying that they're going to use the Lightning Network. So this is just, in my opinion, just a way to stay relevant, right? And what that means is if you have a Robinhood wallet on your phone, they're going to try to make it so that you can pay for goods utilizing their wallet with Bitcoin and other cryptos utilizing the Lightning Network. And I just think that, again, there's going to be so many other better companies to do that with going forward in the future. But if you're already on Robinhood and you're already invested in them, yeah, it might make sense. So, but there's just other options out there. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, I guess.
Yep, couldn't have said it any better.
All right, we'll move on to the next one. ESPN and Tom Brady's Autograph Inc. multi-year NFT deal. So, Smokey, I'll start with you on this one. ESPN and Tom Brady, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, so Tom Brady's coming out with a 10-part documentary just about his entire career, and I think they're doing this. It'll be heavily inspired by Michael Jordan's Save the Last Dance, or what was it called? The Last Dance documentary. I don't know if you saw that or not, but it's a must-see documentary if you're an NBA fan or Michael Jordan fan. But so they're going to hype up this documentary. It's going to get a lot of viewers, and then they're going to coincide this with an NFT drop. But ESPN is also involved with the NFT deal, which has caused a lot of FUD. So, is this going to be popular or not? I don't think so. I don't think I haven't seen a lot of these types of NFTs go up in value a lot. I think this is more to try to get mainstream people involved. So my personal view is I'm probably going to pass on this, but I do think it will get some new people in. I know sports cards have made a huge comeback. A lot of people are collecting cards like they used to in the 90s, So there might be an audience for this based on that. But these are no guarantee to go up. Draco, I just sent you a link in the private chat for a similar NFT project involving John Cena, and he called that NFT project the biggest failure of his career. So just because it's a big name, a big celebrity doing an NFT drop, it's no guarantee that this is going to be successful. Only get it if you're a diehard Tom Brady fan and you want to collect something with your favorite NFL player on it.
Myron, what do you think about this?
Actually, a lot of these celebrity NFTs, I feel like it's just a huge cash grab, because you can't just make it and just leave it like a collector's items, right? And maybe you can, but I think a lot of the thing about NFT is the community behind it, and I think the reason why things like Azuki, things like Bored Ape Yacht Club, these big projects are doing well because they have a true community behind it, and the devs are continue working to add more to the project. And I think for this one, there's not a lot of them, right? There's like 50 or something. So there's definitely, I think it's going to be really expensive, or it's going to be sold out so quick. because there's a lot of Tom Brady fan, and they'll buy this just to, I think, like just like Smokey says, just buy it for the art or for the, to say they have something that's signed by Tom Brady. But a lot of these celebrity NFT, I think Mayweather had one that didn't do well. Now he's doing another one. I didn't even know John Cena had one. Smokey, did you know he had one? We
Yeah,
just
we
found
just
out.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know,
We
I
were
know.
go ahead.
Before today, did you know that he was coming out with that,
No,
Smokey? Oh, okay. Maybe
we might
he's
have
out
lost him
again.
again. Oh
But
no,
I asked
Smokey,
him because
no.
yeah, I asked him because he's a big wrestling fan and everything. But I had no idea John Cena was having one. And he minted like 36, which is terrible
Yeah, that's
because
horrible. That's a
he's
huge
so
failure.
popular, right?
Come on. Yeah, we sold 37 of
Oh,
them,
it's
which is a
37. Yeah.
catastrophic
Like
failure.
that's so bad. Like there's so I think it's gonna do well if they're gonna support it, right? I think like the V friends are doing well because you get exclusive or you get access to Gary V's conferences and things like that. Only if they have something tied to it. There was another guy that launched it. Ty Lopez launched it. I don't know how well they're doing, but I think if you buy the top tier one, you can get to have lunch with him. And there was once like, oh, you get to ride with me on my private jet. And it doesn't even tell you that you can like it's gonna take you back. It's like, oh, just ride with me. Then I guess buy your own plane ticket back to where
Oh
you
my
came
god.
from. So I think a lot of these, man, it really seems like to me, it's just a money grab. Or if you have money out there, you're like, oh, I have a low piece, one of 50, which could be meaningful. But I think it's gonna be way overpriced. And eventually, the value is just gonna, especially if he makes more, right? Just like how he rugged the guy who bought his last touchdown football, and he comes back, he's like, oh yeah, guys, I'm not retiring. So if he continues to make it, the value is not gonna hold. I don't like any of this. I'm not gonna touch any of this. I can't think of one truly that has done well. A celebrity NFT that has done well.
And Christine, what do you think about this?
So I wish I knew more about ESPN. I have to tell you, I kind of fell off that gambit during college and working. But it's a two-part thought from me. One, I'm wondering if there's anything inside of these big celebrities' contracts where they're held to certain people they can work with if they decide to do this kind of thing. Are they tied in? Is that something that they're going to think about in the future? Because there are a lot of smaller projects in crypto like BB Chain, where they are just asking for celebrities to come their way because they're ready. They're ready to pump them. They're ready. They have huge, willing communities that are wanting this kind of thing. They're excited about it. So that's kind of my first thought on this. Are they held to only working with ESPN or other companies? Like, is that what is in their contract? And will players or celebrities start thinking about that going forward when their contracts are being drawn up? Kind of thought process there. Part two is, so in the NFT community, when it comes to celebrities, there is a huge growing, I guess, culture where it's completely centralized around invoking celebrities in person, creating experiences from NFTs that you hold, or if you hold the coin of the project, if you hold a certain amount, or if you buy an NFT from them, then you may get put into a raffle to go shoot hoops or to go play golf, this sort of thing. So I wouldn't invest in this because I think there's so much. There's a bigger future beyond this that is not so just money here, invest the money for something, for an NFT, and that's all you get. That's not what sports is about. That's not what culture is about. That's not, I think, what the people really see when they look at celebrities and that sort of thing. I don't think the value is quite placed right here at all. So no, I wouldn't go forward. Yes, I would encourage celebrities and other people to look at other avenues for this because it could be so expansive and so fun.
Wow, that was a really good opinion, and I have to say that I agree with you wholeheartedly on everything that you said there, and I would expand that just a little bit to say that, you know, I guess I came from a different time. Like I do respect sports. I think sports are a great thing, but I do agree with you that there's a lot of money grabbing here, like a lot of greed in a way. And I was always kind of taught that the people you should respect the most are like your mom and your dad and your family, that type of stuff. So to like get invested into a token or an NFT that like gets you an opportunity to meet this quote unquote celebrity, to me really isn't very valuable. I mean, I'm sure some people would die to see their favorite celebrity or whatever it is. I just don't think that that's very valuable. But at the same time, um, I also think that, for example, people are going to be able to pick whether or not they want to buy NFTs from specific companies. ESPN, and like this specific article talks about that this is an ESPN slash Disney bundle NFT collection, right? Well, I'm sure there's going to be people out there that decide that I don't want to own something that ESPN stands behind, or Disney, or Hulu, or whatever it is. If Apple made an NFT, you better believe I'm not going to buy it. I'm not an Apple fan. So I mean, I think that also is going to start playing into NFTs in the market, and we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of different NFT, and there's a lot of sports NFTs. NFL this next season is going to be doing NFL all day, which is very similar to NBA Top Shot. It's ran by the same company pretty much. It's ran on Dapper Labs and everything. So that'll be an option that'll be available to the masses this coming football season, which I think is going to be a pretty big deal. And I think it's going to be difficult for Tom Brady to compete with that on his own with his own company.
But this does, I think, one good thing again, just like same thing as Robinhood, it does bring attention. But what
Yep.
what I worry about is does it bring the wrong type of attention?
Right.
Because if the people buy in, or they're like, they lose money, or whatever happens, or if the
It's a
project
scam.
fails,
It's a
yeah,
scam.
they can be like, dude, crypto just scam. NFTs are terrible. And another
Yep.
thing is like, are we in a bubble right now where all these people are jumping in? When if your grandma's trying to ask you how to buy NFT, maybe that's a bubble, and we need to do some sort of a correction. I don't know, man. I guess if you say any good of publicity is good publicity, I guess
Right.
more people will know it. I think even our article they said some of the comments are like, what like what's NFTs? I don't really know. I don't really understand what this even is.
Yeah,
So
it's a
it's
better headline than that woman who wasn't she selling like her farts as NFTs or something like that? Or
What?
there's been a lot of weird stuff out there. Yeah.
No, no, I'll pass.
Uh,
I'm swiping on that one.
but is there any like thing to go off of where like a photo of somebody, of a celebrity, has gone up in value or has been really successful? Because I feel like everything that's been successful has been an artist, and not only an artist but an artist that I've never heard of. Even celebrity artists like Frank Miller, who is known for drawing some of the best Batman comics ever. I bought some of those NFTs, and none of them went up at all. So, what gets hot in the NFT market is so random. But yeah, I agree. When these celebrities get in, it kind of just looks like a cash grab. Like, do
Hmm.
you need another photo of Tom Brady in your wallet or whatever?
Right.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it being that big. And I was looking at the Top Shot market, and I mean, I didn't spend a whole lot of time on the NBA Top Shot market, but I was just checking it out when I saw this headline, and it looked like the most valuable NFT in the NBA Top Shot market was like $120 or so. So I didn't see anything wildly expensive on that.
hmm.
I just don't think there's a huge market for this stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. And the NFL market's going to have their opportunity just like the NBA did, and I think that there's a lot more people that are passionate about NFL and NFL players when the season's going on. So we'll see. We'll see how that market plays out, and maybe it's something that you have to do seasonally. Like you can't, buy and trade NBA Top Shot outside of that season, or whatever's hot. So we'll see how that works out, right?
Yep.
On to the next article. Starbucks announces NFT initiative as union busting controversy continues. So overall, Starbucks is announcing plans to get into the NFT business, and it sounds like they're going to try to incorporate NFTs into how like you do purchases and potentially even go to the route of getting a wallet so that you could hold on to the NFT and things like that. So it sounds like they're trying to skirt the lines and sneak their ways into NFTs. So I'd like to hear your guys' opinion on this. And I'll start with Christine. Christine, what do you think about this?
Sure. So I'm always a little cautious when it comes to kind of like the last the last article, which got my wheels spinning, of course, and I want to dive into that a little bit more. But I think crypto investors are getting smarter. And the whole purpose being in DeFi is, yes, we want the masses to join us. We want them to be intrigued. We want them to learn, be educated. But I grow weary of kind of seeing this particular article kind of grates me a little bit, because I feel like Starbucks isn't approaching this in the right way whatsoever. I feel like it's more of a marketing stint, a way to make money, possibly off of the people that already go to them so consistently. There's no true tie between what we're seeing that they are doing to the actual crypto space. So what worries me with this is that, yes, we will onboard people into kind of a gray area of crypto, which I'm not so sure is good. Yes, they'll have an NFT. Yes, it will pertain to Starbucks. Starbucks will make money off that. But what more is Starbucks doing? That's kind of my big concern. So we'll have a bunch of people that have a wallet, that have an NFT, and think they know about crypto, but they don't actually, beyond maybe some discounts at Starbucks.
Right.
And that's a heavy concern for me.
Yeah, Myron, what do you think about this?
Man, I think it's another cash grab, man. Have you seen? There's an episode of South Park where Butters trying to sell NFTs for like Denny's or Applebee's. And it's like trying to explain it, and these guys are so confused. He's like, "Oh, look, we have this NFT of this apple with a bee face and it has a cute mustache." And he's trying to push it, and it's just like, "Man, I don't get it. We just like sell them pictures, or just no." He's like, "Man, no, they're investing. They're investing in these NFTs." It's like exactly that joke. Now Starbucks is doing it, and I don't know. I don't like Starbucks as there's no bias. I don't like them as a company. I don't like the things they do. I think this article mentions the union, which is actually kind of big news recently. There's in the recent year or two, there has been a lot of people quitting because with inflation and everything, they just don't feel like they're making enough money to even justify them going to work. The article mentions one thing that was huge news, that Amazon was against unions all these years, but finally there's like one Amazon warehouse that is unionized now, and that's a huge news. And I think Starbucks has a couple. So this article is a little weird because it's like trying to combine two issues. Starbucks NFTs, not going to touch it. It's not going to be good. I don't think it's going to be good. And if they really want to go into the crypto space, why not just come out and be the first one to say, "Hey guys, we accept crypto payments. Give us your Dogecoins and we'll sell you coffee."
Right.
But it's like, "Oh, we're selling NFTs." It feels like a cash grab to me again. And Starbucks stock's been going down. I mean, the market hasn't been doing well, but again, it feels like another attempt, maybe like just like Robinhood to, hey, maybe we can revive and get some better revenue for the next quarter, so we can pump our stock up again. But
would you,
I don't know.
I'll ask you both since you've already had an opinion on this. Would it be in your opinion, would it be a bigger news story for actual investors like ourselves if they were to say we're putting 10% of our overall treasury or our net worth into Bitcoin or Ethereum? Would that be a bigger story than just we're making an NFT? Question mark. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think that because no huge institutions are buying crypto, right? So I think the bigger story would be, hey, we're getting into crypto by investing into crypto or something. I think this is just trying to get attention.
Yeah, we're even accepting crypto as payments. Like if they really want to help this space, if they really want to come into the space, that's not just a cash grab. Then why don't you just like I was saying, just accept crypto, make it work. be the first innovative company that's allowing people to do it.
Right.
But
I'll
that's
tell you
just
what I like about it, though. There is something I like about it. Starbucks customers, more than anybody else, use their phones to
Yeah.
pay for coffee already. So they load up their money on their Starbucks cards, and then Starbucks scans a QR code. So I think this user base, this is a user base of people who are not into crypto, who are gonna not be into crypto, but be into a blockchain, NFT for the first time. This is gonna onboard people onto crypto who are probably cut out to. What I'm saying is this is like a user base of people who are not in crypto that are ripe to get into crypto because they
Yeah,
already
like
use their
easy
phones for digital
pickings,
payments.
easy to assimilate.
Yeah, this could be low hanging fruit, So all you gotta do
Right.
is make an NFT with a QR code on it, and this NFT QR code gives them some kind of discount or some kind of Starbucks rewards plan. So I think this is a step up from the Robinhood article and the Tom Brady thing as far as onboarding people go, because these people are kind of a step closer or are ripe to be onboarded to crypto. So that is what I like about it. But I do agree it is a cash grab ultimately.
And I'm
So,
not. Go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry. So
No, no, no.
I'm not really gonna call it a cash grab because I think there's something more happening here. So let's think about this. So Starbucks in their history had the huge political debate debacle that they went through. Then they had a big kind of period where so many people were pushing to go back to local coffee stores.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think this is about like, hey, let's see how we can integrate into crypto. I actually think that this company is like grabbing for straws, like grabbing
Right.
for anything they can possibly do, especially as Myron mentioned the union as well. I'm wondering what's going on behind the scenes with Starbucks. Do we want low hanging fruit coming into crypto? No, we want them to search for more. We don't want them just to be so service level.
Right.
I'm gonna actually like this should be such an easy article to talk about, but this is something that I don't think I want to see.
Yeah, no, I think I hear where you're coming from. This is almost like this is the result of, a whole bunch of corporate media heads coming together and sitting at a big table and saying, all right, we need to bump our numbers. How do we do it? All right, go, Christine. Tell me what we need to do. And you're like, we need to get the crypto community. They're one of the strongest communities out there. How do we get them to buy our coffee? We make an NFT. Sold. You're like, that's what they're doing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
a
We
year
get
ago it was
opinions
we need an
sold.
NFT, you're fired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, they use their phones. We have QR codes. Perfect.
Right.
Done. They'll
Yeah.
save us.
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
kind of want to dig into this a little bit more. If they're suffering so much already as they are, I would not want to. This is not the avenue that I would want to bring new people in on. I would much rather find a better way.
Wow. Well, you guys had so many
You know
good
what's
opinions on this, and
you know what's kind of funny about this? If they actually went to the payment route, where it's like, hey guys, we're accepting crypto, and people go in there, it's like, oh yeah, this coffee was like 0.003 ETH. It's nothing.
Right.
When it's like $20. So that's how you increase sales, man. Come on, hey, Starbucks, I'm up for hire for consulting if you want me.
Exactly. Yeah, I just, me personally, I think that we're going to see a lot of this where we roll our eyes at people that are trying to get on the hype train of cryptocurrency and NFTs, but they're not willing to go full bore into the system. They're not really willing to make a risk. A real risk, like I said, would be buying, $1 billion of Ethereum or $10 billion in Bitcoin and adding that to their treasury and saying, we'll accept this as payment. This isn't a real step into crypto. This is just playing on the fringes. So I don't respect it as much as it is like a better story that they could have had. And you guys had such great opinions on it that's all I'll put in there. I'm going to add one more thing here. None of you knew I was going to add this, and I'm just going to add it anyways. So we're going to do this off the cuff, and we don't have to be like one by one. We can talk about this as a group. So Gemini did a study, and they come out with it every year, and it's called the State of U.S. Crypto Report. And pretty much they do a bunch of studies where they test and poll a bunch of people to include a bunch of their own users, and they get a lot of data. And this data that they get is very, very unique, and it's representative of our overall society, if you will. So I think some of this stuff is very interesting, and I kind of wanted to go over it with you guys and get your opinions. Again, we don't have to like be super structured about it. You can just speak up if you want to. But I think that it was I think some of this isn't a huge surprise. 74% of men are crypto holders and 26% of women. Women, you got to bump up those numbers. Those are rookie numbers. We got to get you guys in here more. And then the age groups. I think this age group is great. Like I thought personally, and I want to hear your guys' opinion. I thought more young people that are 24 to 18, I thought they'd be more invested into crypto. But it looks like it's more of the millennials that are invested into crypto.
Maybe the young people
Yeah,
they're too busy dancing on TikTok, man.
That's what I was gonna say.
But I think maybe they don't have the money either. I don't know. But yeah, I would expect to be. I mean, that's the lowest percentage though. That's what's crazy about it. There's
Right?
more old people in crypto than
Right.
young people.
That's what I was
crazy.
like. I was very surprised that 55 to 65 was 4%, even 45 to 54.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, the beginning of this isn't very old. You start getting into your 50s, that's getting up towards retirement age, and people are getting into crypto.
Yeah,
I thought
this
that
is
was
actually
very telling.
unexpected. Yeah.
So
It makes sense though.
I was going to say I've actually thought about this.
Wow. There we go. So this is good.
So way to spring it on me. So yes, I am curious about the 26% female versus the 74% male. I wonder how much of the female are involved in only NFTs and not actually the whole rest that crypto has to offer. So very curious on that statistic. Also, from just roaming around the discords and how I've done, I am noticing a lot of the age range that is the biggest are starting to get their parents involved, which would reflect the next number we see, the 45 to 54. I also am slowly talking to my dad about investing as he's seeing his Social Security and 401k and all those things aren't quite panning out the way he wanted them to.
Right.
So I think that second age group definitely is influencing that fourth age group, which is amazing to see. I absolutely love it. So I've thought about this, and it's kind of nice to see it on the screen because it's something I was thinking that was happening. To see Gemini actually pull some statistics on it is kind of nice.
Yeah, it says here, and I'll read this portion to the listeners and to you guys. There's going to be Spotify as well. 74% of crypto holders are men. 77% of all crypto holders are under the age of 45, and 71% are white. All data shows that the average cryptocurrency owner is a 38-year-old male making approximately $111,000 a year.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's their average. That's what they're seeing. And I don't know how true that is, but that's what the data is showing them. And I just thought that was very, very interesting. This continues on, and I think that this is also important. A significant size of crypto curious, disinterested, and crypto owners. Okay, so out of the people that they were talking to, the group is a significant size, comprising of 63% of U.S. adults, and has potential to disrupt that they think that are average crypto holders. So 63% of the people that they talked to were crypto curious, which is a very large amount. But that's also bad. That means that if they're crypto curious, that means that they haven't had enough confidence to get into the market. And 14% of the people that they polled were actual crypto owners. 23% said that they were disinterested. So what do you guys think about those statistics? I think that we can do better as a community and as a crypto space to make people feel more comfortable to get in.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're like a baby boomer, why would you get in crypto at this point when you're so close to retirement and you don't understand the investment a lot? And then if you're like a young Gen Zer, well, all the cool stuff on crypto in the last few years has been on Ethereum. So you see Ethereum gas fees, and they're probably too young, to want to pay that much money, just to operate on the Ethereum blockchain. So millennials kind of the sweet spot where you're young enough to play with new technology or want to get into new technology and old enough to have made a little bit of money to take some risk on something where the transfer fees can be, $50 to $100 sometimes. So that's kind of my take on what that data means.
Yeah, I think another big thing to say about this is that women account for more than half, 53%, of those interested in getting into crypto soon, representing a major potential shift. So it sounds like women are getting interested. Women want to invest. They just haven't pulled the trigger yet. And to be honest with you, I think that, Christine's a great example of this. Women are very good at analyzing and sitting back and watching and having a lot of information in front of them before making a very, very important decision. And I think that that's part of what we're seeing here. And maybe within the next year or so, we'll see a lot more women come into the space, especially if they have a lot of other women like in the space already that are there to embrace them.
Right. I completely agree. You're not going to see so many apes when it comes to females, if I can be so kind of raw about it. I think a lot of females hold a lot of finances. Some don't, some do. That's a very broad statement. And this is just the US, but I think a lot of females look at things very differently. They want to see long-term. There's a lot of different perspective when it comes to kind of that area. I would definitely encourage them, but I will tell you, I doubt highly, like the articles we talked about earlier, like Robinhood, Starbucks, that sort of thing, they're not going to dive into those. They're going to wait for communities or others to reach out to them, referrals. It's going to come in a different way.
Yeah.
It's come in via education. It's going to come in kind of in a different mindset, not so much in the now, but in the overview. So I think as we grow this year, I completely agree with you. As projects start to kind of set their feet in and figure out what they're doing and kind of where they're going, I think education will follow, security will follow, communities will grow. And I think that's where they'll start to kind of flood into the space.
Is there a big female influencer into crypto? Because when I think of crypto influencers, all I think about are males. Elon Musk, Tom Brady, Matt Damon. People
Kathy
like
Wood.
that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Kathy Wood's probably the biggest one, and then there's a lot of streamers that I'm aware of. But I would, and then I don't want to say any celebrity names because I'm not going to say anything negative about anything. But there are celebrities that kind of like, they're making money with crypto, so they're involved with crypto projects and NFTs. But I would say like an actual influential person that you should all listen to, somebody that you should type into YouTube and start looking at the ones that have over 100,000 views is Kathy Wood. She's amazing. She knows crypto. She understands Bitcoin. She understands innovation. So I think that she's a huge, advocate for cryptocurrency, and she's one of the biggest voices in the space. She actually went to the Bitcoin conference, and she was on stage with Michael Saylor. So her and Michael Saylor were on the stage together talking about Bitcoin, obviously cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So I encourage all of you to listen to that because she's super, super intelligent on this topic.
You know what's funny?
You need a Cardi B, though. You need Cardi B.
Right.
So I actually have her on my Spotify. I have not seen her on YouTube, but I absolutely love listening to her on Spotify. So I'm so glad Bourbon-n-Blockchain is on Spotify as well, because it's a big space for a lot of female listeners or just listeners in general.
Absolutely.
But yeah, she's got great intel.
Yeah.
Christine, just to clarify, not Cardi B, right?
Right. We're talking about Kathy Wood.
Yeah. But, Kathy Wood, I think she wants exposure to crypto so bad. I think if SEC actually allows crypto to be, I think one of the, what's that, Grayscale, trying to get cryptos going. So I think if that comes out, if they're able to do that, she's going to be one of the first one to get her own like ETF of crypto. And I think
there's a lot of them.
She has such a huge exposure to Coinbase, and she keeps buying it. I mean, it was a terrible decision to buy it when it's like 400 at IPO because all the executive dumped. there was no share lockup. So she's holding a big bag on bag holding on Coinbase. But I think eventually, maybe in a couple of years, she'll come out into profit. But she got into that position because she wanted exposure to crypto, and I don't think there's really anything else in the market for her ETF to be able to buy that is directly involved in crypto. So yeah, she's really bullish on crypto, I know. And this slide actually that you have up, Draco, this slide, man, I question this one though, because Dogecoin has to be on there somewhere, man. Like my my mom knew about Doge and like our coworkers before any of the crypto. And then later on, it's like, oh, okay, Ethereum is a big one, things like that.
You know, it could have been a multiple choice, and they didn't have it on there. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. I think
But yeah, I mean, so specifically with this slide, what it's saying is that of the people that they polled, both crypto curious and investors, they asked them, what do they know about crypto, or like what are they familiar with? 95% of people said, I've heard of Bitcoin. A third, 38%, so a vast majority also said that they know what Ethereum is. Bitcoin Cash, they said that they knew what it was, but to be honest with you, I don't think they know what that is. I mean,
I don't even know
Bitcoin
what
Cash,
it is.
yeah, Bitcoin Cash was so like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash kind of like separated, and they had like their own ideas for what it was. And then after that, it just falls off dramatically all the way down to 16%. Tether's the largest stable coin that there is, and that was 11%. So I think that this is indicative of people not really understanding the whole space of crypto, but that's okay. Just knowing a little bit about Bitcoin, that's enough to get you in the door. But there's a whole bunch here for people to look for. There's a lot of different things that you can go in here and take a look at yourself. But Gemini, if you go on Gemini.com, you can look up their state of the crypto for the US, and you can find this information for yourself. And like I said, I just thought it was interesting and that we could talk about it. And the last one I want to look at with you guys is look at crypto holders. What do they own, and how long or how do they trade? So how long do these people, or how long have they been involved in crypto? And 42% is 1 to 2 years, and then it dramatically drops off, and it starts to get into 3 to 5 years, and then you've got 4% at 5 years. But where it starts to kind of pick up again is at 10% within the last 6 months, and 16% within 6 months to 1 year. So that brings me to you guys. Like, when did you guys buy your crypto, and what do you think of this chart?
So the 5 or more years, those guys are rich, and within the 6 months, those are bag holders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
no,
could be.
But the thing is, I think this chart. I mean, it's interesting how small of a percentage the 5 or more years is. So this wide adoption. Well, maybe it's not even wide. I don't think crypto is widely adopted now, even though it's so much more popular than it was. I still think we're so far away from a mass adoption that we can still be considered very early. I mean, look at this chart, 4%. That's crazy. That's actually pretty crazy.
Absolutely.
So most people are just 1 to 2 years, which is where I fall into. Just 1 to 2 years.
What about you, Christine?
So I want to know if the 26% that know, oh no, not the 26%, the ones that were in at the beginning, and if they actually know that they still hold.
Right.
So, but yes, so I like to look at things like past year, the next year, and then 4 years after. So that's kind of how my brain works. So if we take a look at this and we see that 68% just got in the past couple of years, where are we going to be in the next 4 years?
Yeah.
So that is a big viewpoint to look at. Kind of scary, just because of the articles that we reviewed tonight. We want to make sure that people coming into the space, they know what they own,
Right.
and they know how they want to trade, or they know what projects they're getting into. Crypto investors are getting smarter, even in the 2 years or a year and a half, whatever, how long you've been in, even if it's been recent. They're kind of looking for education, looking for more. people outside of crypto are starting to think more. So communities are going to be key. Sharing and encouraging more in the right directions are going to be key. Asking investors to use their heads are going to be key. Before in the past, I don't think that was so relevant, but seeing this big percentage happen just in the past 2 years, I think those categories have to increase as well. Just because if you're going to have a huge influx of people, it's kind of like putting a bunch of people in the room and not telling them what direction to go. Yeah, 5 years ago, you could have put less people in the room and you wouldn't have had to tell them nearly what direction to go because they would have understood a lot more. Shoving 68% of people into one room and being like, have at it. You're going to have a lot more panic. You're going to have a lot more like not knowing which way. So I think security education, that sort of thing, to see ourselves in the next 2 years is going to require some forethought, engagement in communities, not encouraging platforms we are not fans of, that won't actually help in the long term. So that's how I feel about this statistic.
Yeah, I think it's important to note, especially for our Spotify listeners that won't be able to see the chart. One of the things that this says as well is that 26% of current owners first acquired crypto within the last year, and a full 68% purchased crypto within the last 2 years. This shows that crypto is no longer just a niche investment reserved for early adopters. This is a widespread interest and it's growing fast. It also goes on to say that nearly 9 out of 10 current crypto owners currently own or have owned Bitcoin, 87%, compared to Ethereum at 36%. Bitcoin also appears to have the most staying power. While 87% reported that they have owned at some point Bitcoin, 84 still have it in their portfolio. What do you think of that, Smokey? Oh, we might have lost Smokey again. Oh no, Smokey, no!
No, he's muted.
I was hoping you would tie it back to WrestleMania in the end.
Let me tell you about this, brother. Well, what do you guys think about that? Like, I think that it's pretty bullish. You know, this is the last thing that I'll harp on is I think that it's pretty bullish that when you're, you know, let's go back to the beginning for a second and show you that we're talking about early investors, late investors. We're talking about people that have only heard about a couple things on the blockchain, people that have been involved for 5 years, 3 years, you know, all different types of investors. But when you put all the numbers together, one of the things that we're seeing here is that 87% of these investors at some point bought Bitcoin, and out of those 87%, 84% still have it in their portfolio. That's pretty damn bullish for one of these assets being Bitcoin. And I think people need to realize that. I know a lot of people, you know, get into crypto and then they poo-poo on Bitcoin, but you know, don't just pass up on it because it's a powerful statement. It's a powerful voice in the crypto world.
There's definitely the potential is huge there. I do have to support that. I love statistics. So I would love to see like the UK, the Emirates. I would love
absolutely.
to see these statistics across the board. It would give so much more understanding to kind of where people are. Because you can't, unless you understand where crypto holders are and what they're doing, it's hard to kind of predict anything future. And that's been a real struggle in the crypto space when it comes to marketing, when it comes to project planning, which is more my realm. But that's been really hard for a lot of projects. They've struggled. Even amazing projects have struggled in that realm. So would love to see more of this information kind of come out. And I think there's been a little bit of a fallback to Bitcoin because there is reliability there.
Faithful.
Yes. So there is a little bit of that there. And I think as investors become educated, they actually start to see the bigger picture and we will see more of this. That is just my opinion, but that is what I'm thinking.
What about you, Myron?
I think it's crazy because 3 years ago, Bitcoin was like a 3,000 or 4,000 range, right? So we're 10x, and now people are like, oh man, this Bitcoin gonna hold 43. This is an important level, guys. We need to hold this. So just so far, have come so far that this is like the normal range now. I feel like in a few years, uh, maybe when they have this survey again, we'll be one of those so early adopters who's been a couple of years, and people can like be like, oh man, is Bitcoin gonna hold this 150,000 range, 100,000 range? And I just think that now we look back like, oh man, you got in how early? So this statistic that you just showed, only 3% has completely sold out of Bitcoin. I mean, that's pretty insane. That's a long term investing kind of thing right there. So I don't know, this report is really interesting. I need to read. I didn't even know this was out. So thank you for pulling this up. I need to read a little bit more into detail just to get a feel of how far I guess we've come. Because this is pretty legit. I wonder if they do this every year or how they do this.
Yeah, and I'll try to find some more that we can bring up in the future. But I agree with you, and I, to add to that quick sentiment before I let everybody go is, when Bitcoin's trading at $500,000 in a few years, maybe by the end of the decade, we'll look back at this podcast and say, wow, we're sitting over here fighting over tens of thousands of dollars, and now we're playing in the realm of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
So, and those 87% of individuals, depending on how much Bitcoin they own, are going to be part of that legacy as they go forward. So, we'll see where it all lines up, but institutional investors, once they come in, there's no looking back, right? We've talked about that before, and it's coming. So with that being said, I appreciate all your guys' time and your inputs, and thank you very much for being here tonight. To all the listeners, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you like getting this content and you want to get an alert, you can hit the notification bell. And we have a bunch of podcasts that are also uploaded to Spotify as well. So check us out. We love having you guys, and we love being here. So until next time, thank you very much. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves and trade very wisely, and take care of your finances, because nobody else will.
That's right. Good night, guys.
Have a good night. Good night.